All of us have had to face moments of departure and loss. We know what the feeling of grief can be like in one way or another. This must have been experienced by the disciples as Jesus was explaining to them what was going to happen to him. Whilst they were with him, Jesus had protected them, had taught them, and had guided them. So who was going to look after them now? Jesus had all the answers. It would be a tough act to follow. However, they were not going to be left alone. God would not leave them, as he never leaves us. They would have his powerful, loving and life-giving presence in his Holy Spirit, the advocate, the one who would act on his behalf. God would send the Holy Spirit as their paraclete, that is, their consoler, their advocate and their inspirer. So Jesus consoles his disciples with his promise of the Holy Spirit, who will teach them everything they need to know. Jesus tells us not to let our hearts become troubled or afraid. The gift of peace that Jesus promises to give his disciples and to us is a peace that we can never achieve through this world. And what do we mean by peace? Well, St. Augustine has a lovely definition of peace. According to him, peace means serenity of mind, simplicity of heart, and tranquility of soul. Somebody once said that 80% of all the things that we worry about in this life never actually happen. 15% aren't that serious, and the remaining 5% we can manage with the help of God. How much of our lives do we keep at arm's length without fully accepting it? Once we can accept everything deeply into our hearts, only then do we start living. Remember this quote from an eminent theologian: "Yesterday is the past, tomorrow is the future, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present." We must live fully in the present moment and not remain shackled to the past. Jesus tells his disciples that he will go away, but it will not be over. In fact, his death and resurrection will be the crowning glory of his work. But he will also have a different kind of presence among us. He will no longer walk with his disciples as the visibly human Rabbi of Nazareth. He will now be the glorious but invisible Lord, so that he can reach more people. So now the disciples will know all they need to know. But we have to trust in the Holy Spirit, which sounds easy. But that means trusting that God can and will bring fruits from all those situations in life that we can often deem as utterly hopeless. But this, in fact, is the story of the Old Testament Bible in a nutshell.